anyone who watches this video would, of course, have so many questions about how something like this could happen, the fact that the collision was so dead on with that support structure to cause this to happen the way that it did. Obviously, we don't want to get into irresponsible speculating at all, but what can you give people who look at this and wonder, how could this have happened? Could it happen by accident? Did somebody do it deliberately?
Yes. We wouldn't want to get into any irresponsible speculation, and then she leapt right to irresponsible speculation. She did follow it up with the word but. Don't want to get into any irresponsible speculation about the ship crashing into the bridge in Baltimore, collapsing it and shutting down Baltimore Harbor, but could this have been done on purpose? Maybe by Republicans, as I'm surprised they didn't get it. Maybe they'll get to that a little later on. How about radical Islamic jihadis? How about Hamas, which enjoys the full support of the Democrat Party in the United States? That was Casey Hunt at CNN this morning, avoiding irresponsible speculation until she continued the sentence in which she trundled right on to irresponsible speculation. But hey, you got to ask the question. And the Democrats, they want the news media to stop showing the video because their instincts are very Soviet, very Soviet. Yes, sir. Well, happy Tuesday morning to you, and welcome back once again. We are at 888-630-9625, absolutely toll-free to you, our valued listeners. And let's go to some more on this. And I don't know if I can get back to the transgender darts winner, because that's a big story too, big story. But I want to get to the bridge and everything that's going on there. And President Trump and James Carville today, the Democrats, they hate the women. And this is another example of the Democrats hating women. Transgender female, meaning male, darts player wins women's event, sparks fury. A fury has been sparked. Martina Navratilova was among those who spoke out. Martina Navratilova always speaks out. I've always liked Martina Navratilova. She's brave and she always looks very sad, and I feel bad for her. Transgender darts player Noah Lynn Van Leuven. Noah Lynn Van Leuven. That's Noah-Lynn, and then the last name is Van Leuven. Forget about that. Won titles against men and women in the same week, and immediately came under fire for being allowed to compete against female opponents. It's darts. Why do they have a women's category in darts? Well, because, it's all in the wrist. The natural strength of men gives them dominance in, hitting the bullseye, right? Van Leuven won a women's event in the professional darts competition, which they then abbreviate with PDC, the professional, because you're in the PDC? Yeah, I'm in the PDC. On Saturday, topping Bo Graves and Katie Sheldon. Sure, naturally, the win came more than a week after Van Leuven won a mixed competition over John Henderson, Cam Crabtree, his name is Cam Crabtree, and Titus Kanek, big darts player in the United States. Van Leuven told The Guardian, a newspaper last year, that the transition from what to what began at the age of 16. And as Van Leuven told the outlet, at that moment, when I thought I could go two sides now, two sides. Sure, you got to dress this way on your left side and that way on your right side, like an old split thing. I can end it, or I can live as who I want to live. Sure, as who you want to live. That's interesting. And there is Van Leuven has long red hair and dressed like a lady, but looks like a man. So the professional darts competition chief, Matt Porter, told The Guardian last year that Van Leuven complies with the organization's transgender participation policy. And then, the man goes in and steals the trophy from the ladies because Democrats don't like women, not normal women. They like their women to be men, which is more than a little weird. The PDC follows Darts Regulation Authority. Is that the DRA? The Darts Regulation Authority policy, which is governed, they have governors, by the International Olympic Committee. Really, do we have darts in the Olympics? Because that's a little weird. So the International, and that's the IOC. Everything is an abbreviation because you have to. The IOC's darts policy, they have a darts policy, requires transgender female competitors, meaning men, to have a testosterone level below 10 nanomoles per liter. Do you know what your nanomoles, how many nanomoles do you have per liter? For the last 12 months, and that gender identity cannot be changed for at least 4 years. Otherwise, they ask for their trophy back. How does that work? A transgender female may not have a presumption of advantage, and the IOC advises sports to disproportionate advantage, which needs, therefore, to be mitigated. Sure. Yeah, there you go. So here's the dude. Dude looked like a lady, sort of. Dude comes in and throws darts better than the ladies and goes home with the ladies' trophy in darts. Darts. I'm sure they're very, very good at darts. All the professional darts people are very good at darts, but this is like a satire. And the Democrats have made what used to be Monty Python satire into the real world. Aren't they amazing? All right, let's get back to the bridge here. I just like that story because they're nuts, Oh, yeah. Dr. Jill Biden yesterday also. She's talking about, everybody's a Nazi and MAGA extremist Nazis. It's like Nazi Germany because she wants to live in that Joel Grey movie, Cabaret, in pre-war Germany where there's a lot of sexual deviancy and transgenderism. She loves that movie. And she was out there yesterday selling that stuff. I wonder how she feels about the transgender female darts champion taken. Somebody should ask her about that. Oh, let's get back to the bridge because it's a big deal. Let's go to Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, who is a Democrat. And this morning he came out, as you might expect, and spoke. And now what is it? MSDNC, right? Says that Pete Buttigieg is on his way. He's on his way. I wanted to take him like a month to get to East Palestine, Ohio. Is that right? Maybe he'll get here quicker. But he should have been there hours ago because he just lives about 40 miles away in Washington, D.C. Could have been there. Griff Jenkins with Fox News was there before the sun came up. Where was Buttigieg? Long breakfasts, watching a little MSDNC, watching some morning joke. So here is the Democrat mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott.
This is a unthinkable tragedy. We have to first and foremost pray for all of those who are impacted, those families. Pray for our first responders and thank them, all of them working together, city, state, local, to make sure that we are working through this tragedy.
I would say it is an unthinkable tragedy, not a unthinkable tragedy. But that's me. The Catholic school early years helped a lot with that. I think Brandon Scott, let's go Brandon, as he's sometimes called, because everybody named Brandon is sometimes called Let's Go Brandon. Isn't that true? Brandon Scott, the mayor of Baltimore, on the tragedy in Baltimore Harbor, knocking down a section. It's I-695, an interstate highway goes across that bridge, and it's going to screw things up in Baltimore for street traffic, and obviously the port of Baltimore is closed for the time being, and that is a huge deal. A huge deal. And as Lucinda said earlier, you got to get the Army Corps of Engineers in there lickety-split. And I remember when we used to do things well in the United States. Wasn't that long ago, but we're going to have to do something to make America great again, I think. Brandon Scott.
This is an ongoing active research that we're having right now. We're going to continue, as you heard from Chief Wallace, throughout. As long as we have to be doing that, we will do it. But we have to be thinking about the families and people impacted, folks who we have to try to find and save.
I don't think I'd call it research. Research is probably not the right. We're not to be critical of his grammar every step of the way, but if his grammar is shabby and poor, and he's the mayor of Baltimore, it should be pointed out because, kids might think of him as a role model. Probably shouldn't. Here's Brandon Scott again. He called into CNN. I don't know if CNN reached out to him or if he just said, hey, let's call CNN and tell him to stop showing the video of the bridge collapse because, I want to demonstrate my authoritarian worldview, my authoritarian instincts, and tell CNN, the global CNN, to stop showing video of the bridge collapse, which is the biggest story of the day as of now. And it's being watched with great interest all over the world, no doubt about it. Brandon Scott called into CNN and said, Achtung, schnell, schnell.
I'm going to be the first to ask that CNN and everyone else stop showing the video. No one needs to see a possibility of their family member being severely injured or otherwise over and over and over again because it's just traumatizing our community.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. No, it's not fair enough. You're supposed to be a journalist, an anchor woman, a world news leader. And when a Democrat calls in and tells you to stop showing the video of the biggest news story of the day, you don't breathlessly say, fair enough. You say, well, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate your concerns, but it's a gigantic news story. There is video of the event, and we're not really going to stop showing it. But fair enough was the response that she offered instead. That's not fair enough. And there's CNN on Boot Edge. I thought that was MSDNC. Both of them. They're both in touch with the Boot Edge office. And here is CNN reporting to us that their hero, Pete Buttigieg, smiled at them, winked at them, and may be getting a ride to Baltimore. I see no evidence that he's arrived yet, though, right? He hasn't arrived yet. Whereas everybody else is there from far-flung places. But Pete Buttigieg, he likes to take his time over breakfast.
We did hear from the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, who said he had spoken with the Maryland Governor Wes Moore. We also understand that he spoke with the mayor of Baltimore, and I wouldn't be surprised if we also see the Transportation Secretary on the ground there in Baltimore before long.
On the ground. Where else would he be? Dangling from a blimp? Hey, I wouldn't be surprised. See how they're playing coy because they want to give him all the time that he needs. He might need a month or something. I wouldn't be at all surprised since he's been such a disaster as transportation secretary, not addressing major issues, supply chain issues, empty grocery store shelves, skyrocketing price of everything. And now this is a big one, of course, East Palestine and the Ohio and the train derailment there, the toxic train derailment. They did as good a job with that, the Biden administration did, as they did with the Afghanistan withdrawal. That is to say, it was another catastrophe, self-inflicted by the Biden administration because they don't really care about the American people or human life because they're the left. MSDNC this morning and Willie Geist.
We're getting word, Jonathan, even as Ryan's talking there, that Secretary Buttigieg is on his way to the scene, that he'll be there very shortly.
He's on his way. We've gotten word. Hey, Pete Buttigieg's office called. Said he's on his way to the scene. Let's get that breaking news to the people. He should have been there long ago. It's 10:20 in the morning. This happened at 1:30 in the morning. News media was live there hours ago. Hours and hours. Not just the local Baltimore news media, but your Democrat Party at work. They'll get high marks no matter what. They're doing a heck of a job. They really are. It's good to be them. Also, the Washington Post doing a hit piece on LSU women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey. And she came out yesterday and gave it to the Washington Post, as she should have. And I've got audio of her yesterday to share with you as well. We've got Dr. Jill Biden calling everybody Nazis for not voting Democrats. while they're chanting from the river to the sea, let's wipe out Israel, and 40% of the black population, they should perhaps smell themselves. 888-630-9625. Hey, it's Chris Plant. Excited to tell you about our July 2024 Listener Sea Cruise. We'll be sailing around the British Isles, visiting Scotland and Ireland. Please join us. Visit ChrisPlantCruise.com.
CNN and everyone else, stop showing the video because it's just traumatizing our community.
Ah, yes. Well, there's a lot of video we should stop showing, I guess, because we wouldn't want to traumatize the public by showing the public what's going on and what happened. Democrats and their instincts, their intuition. Let us, we've also got to get to P. Diddy. Crazy Homeland Security raided his place like Russia. And who knows what he's up, but he's apparently fled the country on his jet. This is a fascinating one. They raided the place like it was an Al-Qaeda raid. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Ron, calling from Freeport, Florida. Ron, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Oh, good morning, Chris. Thanks for taking my call, and we love your show.
Well, thank you very kindly.
Yeah. Listen, I reminded your caller screener there that we had a similar accident about 40 years ago down in Tampa Bay. A ship hit that bridge, and 35 people were killed. And if you look at pictures of that bridge today, they rebuilt it with massive structures around those pillars that to prevent that from ever happening again. And I would say that that's the problem with this bridge. If you look at, there were nothing to protect those pillars there in the harbor. And I think the people that are really responsible, it's not Donald Trump and it's not the pilots or anybody else. Yeah, because somebody's going to blame it on Trump, that's for sure. Uh-huh. But the people who designed and built that bridge failed to put those kind of protections there, because that bridge, of all bridges, has been in danger all these years of having that kind of an accident. And even that mayor is partly responsible, because somebody should have looked at that and realized that could happen and built those structures to protect those pillars to prevent that from ever happening.
Yeah, the governor of Maryland, Democrat, who Democrats want to run for president, is Governor Moore. He's saying that the bridge was up to code. And as our brilliant Navy captain said when he called in, the code will change. There will be a lot of changes as a result of this incident. My friend Tom on the Space Coast actually texted me this morning, Ron, about the 1980 bridge collapse in Tampa, the Sunshine Skyway Bridge that collapsed. And that's the one you're talking about there, right?
Correct.
Sunshine Skyway. And it was lethal, and it led to a lot of changes, and this will too. Yeah, Baltimore mayor asked media to stop showing traumatizing video of key bridge collapsing. Sure, no problem. Whatever you'd like. Mein Führer. Just amazing. Let's go to Dr. Jill Biden. Dr. Jill Biden is not a doctor, first of all, and she's got a PhD, and her husband was kind of a big wheel at the university, and she got something in teaching, something like that, but she's not really a teacher. Is she? Is she a teacher? She's not really like that. But never mind that. Let's go to Dr. Jill, because Dr. Jill was out. She's the First Lady of the United States, as you might imagine, and she was speechifying, and she decided that she would compare Republicans to Nazis and then go out and self-immolate in front of the Israeli embassy and surround it with Palestinian flags, which Democrats are doing. We haven't had a Democrat self-immolate and commit suicide at the Israeli embassy in weeks now, but we're probably expecting more of those things. And it's amazing. She's going on and on about how terrible those Republicans are because they're not Democrats. And honestly, didn't the Democrat president of Harvard University, Claudine Gay, just her name. She had to step down because of all the anti-Semitism on the campus of Harvard University, and she did nothing about it. She is a left-wing radical Democrat, right? That's what she is. And then at MIT and the University of Pennsylvania, the rampant anti-Semitism. These are left-wing Democrat institutions, of course, and they're just fine with that. Also, we've got the marches and protests in Washington. They've raised in Washington, New York, and Boston, and Los Angeles. Jewish people being attacked, assaulted. I've played the audio many times of students on campuses across America who are Jewish, afraid to wear a Star of David, being told by professors to not wear a Star of David. For God's sake, don't wear a yarmulke or anything that might identify you as Jewish, because you could find yourself in physical danger. And that's all because of Democrats. Every single instance, it's because of Democrats being anti-Semites, being pro-Hamas, which is a genocidal terror group dedicated to the total destruction of the state of Israel. Now, I am a Zionist. I believe in the right of Israel to exist. A two-state solution has already been tried, and what they got was October 7th and the massacre by Hamas, the genocidal death cult, whose charter demands the destruction of the state of Israel and driving the Jews into the sea. And the Democrats in the United States are chanting from the river to the sea and projecting from the river to the sea on walls and other anti-Semitic tropes, as they say. They like that word tropes when we're talking about this. Now, the headline in the Washington Examiner, the Washington Post, and the New York Times are not covering it because, they covered up for the Holocaust and things when they had the chance. Jill Biden compares restricting sexually explicit books in schools to Nazi Germany. Now, we're talking about books, for example, like Gender Queer, which is man on boy gay pedophilia in graphic novel form. And the Democrats really insist that you must, and then grammar schools, not just, the mayor of College Park, Maryland, a close friend of Pete Buttigieg. As a matter of fact, Pete Buttigieg invited the now imprisoned child porn king of College Park, Maryland. Buttigieg invited that Democrat to the White House again and again under Joe Biden, where he did freaky things on the South Lawn and then was arrested for 160-something counts of gay child porn. And, the Democrats, they're in favor of gay child porn. There is no straight child porn, no heterosexual child porn in schools, because that would be immoral and that would be wrong. But the man on boy gay child porn, like in Genderqueer and many other books that the Democrats insist be in grammar school libraries, they're okay with the gay child porn in grammar schools, just not the adult porn. See, just child porn, and not straight porn, not heterosexual porn, only gay porn. That's what they insist. And they had this fake don't say gay law. The bill never said anything about saying gay. It was a fabrication of the Democrat Party. But as, one of Jill Biden's forebears, the Socialist Workers' Party propagandist Joseph Goebbels used to say, a lie told once remains a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. And the Democrat Party subscribes to that wholeheartedly every day. And so Dr. Jill Biden, again, the Washington Examiner, but not the Washington Post, First Lady Jill Biden touted the Biden administration's work to help LGBT, that's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. L is G and G is L, but that's okay. Commonly, this is the LGBT community. During a keynote address at the Human Rights Campaign, that's a gay group, fundraising dinner in Los Angeles, she spent part of the speech making historical comparisons between, quote, book bans, end quote, and Nazi Germany. Now, the Democrats have banned J.K. Rowling books in schools and elsewhere. The Democrats have banned To Kill a Mockingbird from schools and beyond. The Democrats have banned Huckleberry Finn and others because they object to the use of words. The Democrats have corruptly and in an Orwellian way rewritten many books and changed the language in books from the 20th century, warning us about looming totalitarianism. And then, without any sense of irony, the left in the United States, we call them the Democrat Party, they rewrite the books to sanitize them, to cleanse them, just as George Orwell warned us would happen in a totalitarian future, which is here. So the Republican Party RNC research tweeted out Jill Biden. Jill Biden, ED.D, sure, compares prohibiting sexually explicit content, all gay child porn, in elementary schools to Nazi Germany during World War II. Now, here is Dr. Jill Biden at the Human Rights Campaign fundraiser, naturally, in Los Angeles, California. I guess assuming that everybody in the room supports gay child porn in grammar schools, because that would have made schools so much more fun when they were kids.
History teaches us that democracies don't disappear overnight.
Usually.
They disappear slowly.
Slowly they disappear.
Subtly. Silently.
Not really.
A book ban. A court decision. A don't say gay law.
Lie.
Before World War II, I'm told,
She's told.
Berlin was the center of LGBTQ culture in Europe.
Sure.
One group of people loses their rights, and then another, and then another.
Like Catholics?
Until one morning you wake up and you no longer live in a democracy.
That's kind of what we've been watching under your husband as president. And I like the way she said, before World War II, comma, I'm told, comma. She wanted to make clear that she wasn't there before World War II, because a lot of people in the room don't know when World War II was, because they're Democrats and they went to public universities and maybe UC Berkeley or something like that. Ask any Democrat 30-year-old, when was World War II? That'd be a fun exercise. Go do man on the street interviews. So there she is. They disappear. She says democracies don't vanish overnight. Well, actually, sometimes they do. And Nazi Germany might be one example of that. And they say book bans. She says book bans. Really, the only thing we're talking about is gay child porn in grammar schools. Now, I know your friends enjoy gay child porn at home and occasionally go to prison for that, like your mayor of College Park, Maryland, but they disappear slowly, subtly, silently. No, not usually. No, that's not really usually how democracies disappear. A book ban. Well, I mean, again, you guys ban Huckleberry Finn. You ban To Kill a Mockingbird. You banned J.K. Rowling because she said that men are men, and when they put dresses on, that doesn't make them women. So you've banned her books. You rewrite books in the way that George Orwell warned us totalitarian regimes would do in the future. And you use the Justice Department against your political enemies. Under the Obama-Biden administration, you also use the IRS against your political enemies. The FBI has been used against your political enemies. The intelligence community in the United States tampered in our last presidential election with the communist voting. Penitentiary-faced John Brennan, former CIA director under Barack Obama, leading the charge, one of the miscreants leading the charge to corrupt our presidential election with their big lie letter signed by 51, including Dana Bash's ex-husband, at CNN, because he was a fake intelligence official. He was just a campaign person who got a parking space and a fake job at the CIA. But never mind that. So there it is. She says a book ban. Again, let's be clear who's banning normal books and who's banning gay child porn in grammar schools, because that's what the discussion is about, you creepy child-abusing people. A court decision, she says. A court decision, that's the abortion thing, because they love abortion so much that they have to talk about it at every meal, honestly. And the don't say gay law, which nowhere in the bill suggested that you not say gay. That is a big lie. That is a lie told once remains a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth in the brains of small-minded people like Democrat voters. And before World War II, I'm told I wasn't there, really, I wasn't there. I didn't do anything. Berlin was the center of LGBTQ culture in Europe. And that's because she saw that Joel Grey movie, Cabaret. Who else was in that? Was that Liza Minnelli? Yes. Sure. That's, that makes it a gay movie right there, right? And Joel Grey and Liza Minnelli. One group of people loses their rights. Oh, like parents at school board meetings, or Catholics going to church, or, Opus Dei, or, let me see, Republicans with Tea Party groups and patriot groups who are targeted by the IRS to sideline them on the lead up to Barack Obama's reelection. Maybe that's what you're talking about, Dr. Jill Biden? Sure, first one group loses their rights, then another, until one morning you wake up. Joe doesn't really wake up in the morning. And you no longer have a democracy. Now you've got kind of a police state where they go around comparing patriotic people that serve in the military to Nazis because they don't want gay child porn in their child's school library, and because they might be pro-life. And, and say, what is it Republicans are talking about? 15-week limit. Don't use the word ban. 15 weeks is not a ban on anything. 15-week limit on abortions because, 16 weeks is 4 months. Can you make up your mind? Can you step on the gas a little bit over here? Because got more parking, fewer kids, got all that. She's talking about censorship, book bans, book burning that were conducted by Nazi Germany, who called themselves the Socialist Workers' Party of Germany. And Bernie Sanders is a socialist, and he honeymooned in the Soviet Union. He misses the Soviet Union as much as Putin, I think. So this is it. Yeah, likening the parents who frequently attend school board meetings starting in 2021 expressed outrage over explicit and pornographic books. Just gay child porn, though. No straight porn, no adult on adult porn, just child porn and just gay child porn, because Democrats, whatever you do, don't let them set up a game of duck, duck, goose. It's not what it used to be. So, the school libraries and in the curriculum, but the Democrats are a sick bunch these days. And, honestly, you should look into what the LGBTQ community was like in Berlin in the 1930s, Jill, and get back to us on that, because you're a sick, sick person. And, she's very upset. They're not book bans. They're acts of decency and protecting children from the likes of you. That's what's going on here. I'm telling you. They want us to be afraid, but don't let them, Dr. Jill Biden, talking about MAGA during her keynote address at the Human Rights Campaign in Los Angeles, California. Your Democrat Party. Yes, sir. Yes, the MAGA extremists are seeking to erase these hard-fought gains, she said. No, trying to save civilization from radicals who are demented in so many ways. Trying to unwind all the progress we've made. No, trying to save the progress we've made as a civilization. They want us to be afraid, said Dr. Jill. No, that's not true. They want to take our victories away, but we won't let them. Your president won't let them. Achtung! And then they sang Deutschland über alles. It was kind of strange, I thought. I won't let them. We're going to fight and we're going to win. Yay, yay. And then they all goose-stepped around. It was like a Busby Berkeley thing. Well, more like Mel Brooks, I guess. Goose-stepping in the swastika. Just amazing. Your Democrat Party. Truth is not their bag, baby. But that's what they're selling. And she talked about abortion at the gay rights campaign. Is there a less interested party? Your Democrat Party.
So say it with me. Si se puede. The future is ours.
The mayor of Washington, D.C. is a Democrat. Her name is Muriel Bowser. We just call her the Bows. Muriel Bowser. She's got a Twitter account, an X account, and this morning up bright and early at 5:18 a.m. She texted in response to the bridge in Baltimore. She texted, "Oh no." O-H space N-O. Oh no, she texted. A woman of no words. Quite a response. She had to get on the record there and, tell us that she felt oh no about that. That was her expressing her profound thoughts on this. We're getting tweets from nice people also saying, when they rebuild the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore Harbor, that's where Francis Scott Key wrote or began to write the Star-Spangled Banner, the battle going on in the harbor in Baltimore. And he was a captive of the British, and it's an amazing story. But they'll rename it. Maybe they'll name it for Barack Obama because, the Democrat Party is like the Soviet Union in so many ways. And that reminds me, my friend Vinny D in Chicago shared with me the other day, Columbus Drive in Chicago. Democrats have introduced an ordinance. Columbus Drive, named for Christopher Columbus, could be renamed Barack Obama Drive. Barack Obama Drive could be the new name of Columbus Drive. And then maybe they'll be happy about the discovery of America. I don't know, but perhaps not. But I saw that, and they got to teach the kids in school, In 1492, Obama sailed the ocean blue. Barack Hussein Obama. Don't say Hussein, racists. Yeah, so they're going to rename Columbus Drive Obama Drive, and then maybe they'll teach the kids that Obama discovered America, and the discovery of America will become a good thing instead of a bad thing. Because the Democrats would have left the Americas kind of as a wild animal park, and they'd come touring it on safari. They'd leave it alone. There'd be no electricity here, no clean water. Yeah, Obama Drive in 1492.